Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. This is John with Tommy's Top Picks, here to bring you your weekly Pokemon update. If you like the content, hit subscribe, like all that stuff. Let's jump right into it. This is a weird week, and I'll talk about it as we get there. But there's some odd behavior happening in this market, and I want to send a word of warning and caution to those out there looking for best opportunities to buy. When bubbles happen, scams happen, and we're clearly in a bubble. I think we're about to come off of it. It looks like a lot of the prices are starting to cool off. The hype is dying down, reprints on the horizon, etc. But I just want to warn you, point out some things. It's going to reflect in the data. It's unfortunate, but I don't want to not reflect the data in a consistent way. That would be even worse. So we're gonna dig in and talk about it here in a second. But let's start with the booster boxes. Brilliant Stars down to 172, down 7%. Not anything too crazy. It's been in this price range before. We've been in this band for 2 months now. It looks like 2-3 months. So this one's nothing special. It's just the bounce, the regular bounce. We'll look at the chart, but it's nothing really unusual here. Um, Lost Origins has jumped up on the individual box price by 6.82% to 137 from 128. This is a new high, so this is a little crazy. I would take this with a grain of salt. If you have some extra boxes you're willing to push out, this might be a price to push it out into. Um, I know I'm not going to do that right now, although you can get some kind of quick turnaround profits, and these will probably go down with a reprint. Um, it's in my opinion a longer term hold is better on this particular box for this period of time, just because I think we will see higher prices in the not too distant future, post reprint and into the Scarlet and Violet era. Moving on to the booster box cases. So, Astro Radiance is up 9.63% to 739 from 675. Now, this was a drop back, so we were really just back where we were a couple weeks ago. Again, over the last month, this has jumped up pretty heavily. I don't know, is this maybe rumor that Astro Radiance won't be getting a reprint? It's possible, right? It was pretty regular pricing for a long time, so I doubt that the printers were turned on for that. Especially with the logistics issues, there were just better targets for a reprint than this. So maybe a while before we get this. It doesn't mean it won't, though, right? They have the right, and they can, for years out, past its release, go ahead and print it again. I just don't know with the price changes and all that whether that will make sense and be worth it for them. We shall see. Maybe they'll up the MSRP on all these older products in a year, and keep the reprints going so the product's available. We just don't know, right? So take it all with a grain of salt, but it is jumped up again back to its previous all-time high. Evolving Skies, this is where it gets weird. All right, so this is down 45.88% to $1,000.49. All right, 1,049. From a previous all-time high of 1939, right? So almost $2,000. It's almost it's called $900 drop, right, in price. This is not real in a couple of ways. Let me just go ahead and show you. I think it's the easiest way to do it. Here we go. Evolving Skies, $1,000. It's really listed. There are 5. $20 in shipping, so toss that up a little bit. It's a little higher. Not that much higher though. There are sales in this area. In fact, there were sales at 550, which is crazy low. I it's from unrated sellers, but this would be people like you or me flipping into the highs, right? Because this is the highs, and it does seem like it will come back down. I still contend that Evolving Skies has been elevated longer than most of the products, so I think there's a reasonable chance it gets a reprint, and that it was targeted early because of its popularity and lack of supply previously. Now, how much that affects the market, I don't know. But the point being is, if I'm an individual, I bought some cases, I speculated on it. This is when I sell, right? If I'm a shop, LGS, whatever, that doesn't really use TCG Player, it has 21 sales. They have ratings, or not ratings, comments, fast, prompt, and professional. Now, these could all be purchased and faked, but this is an extra layer of challenge because it means they had to create fake accounts to buy it from, transfer money, lose fees, it doesn't make sense to do this as a scam per se, because it would cost quite a bit of money to pull this scam off. Does that mean this is real? I don't know. This is where I am really kind of uncertain how I should present this data to you guys, because while this is the low and it does seem realistic, as in there's sales and comments and stuff, and this is on both of these too. This one's actually more reasonable price. I didn't check this one. I just don't know if this is a real thing or a scam. TCG Player and PayPal, if you use both, pretty safe. You'll get your money back if you can test it if there's a problem, if it doesn't show up. There have been an increase in scams on TCG Player. So I'm wondering if the eBay purchase has kind of messed up some of their back office kind of safety features, and so scammers are jumping on to take advantage. I mean, but again, why would you have all these sales that are faked to yourself and no one's leaving bad comments? When I have been scammed in these recent scams, and I had one not too long ago. I got a good deal on a case. They sent me a fake shipping thing. It ended up in New York, which is not where I live. I messaged them and said, where the heck's my product? They're like, oh, it's just a mix up. Give me a couple of days. Now, for me, that's a classic scam. They're trying to buy time so that the account gets credited automatically, which it does after a few days of it being delivered, quote unquote. And then it's just the machinations of the real thing. So if you're not checking on it as an end user, when you go to put it back, they realize that TCG Player realizes that it's a problem. They hold the funds, but you're not allowed to report that until some time after your product is delivered. That's to avoid, the mishap of reporting too soon. It all makes sense. It's all automated. I think there might be room for scammers to make money if 1 in 10 of these, the buyer doesn't notice that it hasn't shown up yet, and it should have. And on high-end products, there's a reason to do that, because you can get credit a bunch of money, buy a bunch of stuff, get it sent to you, and then it's kind of too late for TCG Player to do anything. They're the ones that are hurt. Us as buyers aren't hurt, and the scammers end up making a little extra money. But the reality is, this doesn't fit that bill. When I looked at that in my previous situation, where I did end up getting a refund, I was like, just refund me right now, because I didn't trust it. Like, once they start pulling this, like, I gave you the wrong, shipping code, that's where they're trying to buy time so that they can get the money. So I was like, no, just refund me immediately. And because I had started to open a ticket already, it was in their system, so those funds were locked from coming to them, so they ended up refunding me. And when I looked at his comments, they were all bad. They were other people saying, I think this is a scam. This guy doesn't deliver it on time, delivered the wrong thing. Same sort of thing that was happening to me. These guys don't have that. If they had that, I would say this is a scam, but they have actually positive comments. They're old, so this feels to me like someone who bought a long time ago, has a shelf like me, like an individual, and decide to put some stuff up now. It could also be a hacked account, right? There's lots of different variables here. So take these prices with a serious grain of salt is really what I'm trying to get at, because this is a risky play, incredibly good price compared to the market of 2000, which is around where it is for a known sale with lots of sales, right? But yeah, it's very risky. So I just wanted to make sure I pointed that out. It will be reflected in the data. You'll see this giant drop on the chart, but I don't know how to honestly present it any other way. Let's move on. Rebel Clash is up. We talked about that a few weeks ago, that this seemed undervalued for how the whole market was moving. It's up 11%. Look at that. $14.99. Second one, Silver Tempest. So back to the other chart. Same thing. Let's see. I have it over here. Yeah, Silver Tempest. Same thing's happening here. This one I really don't trust. So you have your market price around $7.39. This only has 2 sales. You look at the no comments, right? So this feels more like a scam. I wouldn't trust this one at all. The other two, harder to say. But same sort of thing. I could put the $7.39 as 0% down. I don't know. This is tough. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think, if I should try to exclude these types of things. But then it's a judgment call, and I could be wrong, and you're missing good deals and stuff. I don't know. I feel obligated to let you know about it. I don't know exactly what the best solution is. I don't want to get you guys caught up in scams, but at the same time, sometimes it's just good deals. Because you got to think about it. If you bought a while ago, and you're selling now, that price, even though you have to put a steep discount off of market, you're selling into the hype. It's a huge gain for an individual, right? If you bought those cases in the beginning. But it's also ripe opportunity for scamming. So keep it in mind. It is what it is. This is 40% down, 449, or 0% down if you want to secure seller. Your choice. Dealer's choice. Anyways, Vivid Voltage is up 16.8%, 899 from 770. That's a huge jump. So that's really interesting for Vivid Voltage. We were talking about that not long ago. Yeah, I missed that one. I never did pull the trigger on it. I felt like 700 plus was a little too much. Looks like I might have been wrong, but we'll probably see a little bit of a retrace on that one. It's okay. I feel like I'm solid in my Sword and Shield position. I feel pretty positive about it. I don't really need to jump in too deeper. Started to track Scarlet Violet pre-order prices. Now you'll note they are dropping. Buying into the hype is pretty normal. Let's just pull up the calculator. So 141. That's still very high price. Oh, sorry, it's off the board there. It's still very high price for individual box. So, I think these will have room to come down a little bit. I think we pointed out a couple weeks ago there's somebody doing pre-orders for 104 a box. So these seem like pretty high prices to me. That's all I'm saying. They will come down. So anyways, they've been down. Not much to do here. We won't do charts until release at least, but I figured I'd start tracking the data. So let's jump into the charts. Sword Shield coming down a little bit, and this is a pattern you'll see across all of these products. It seems we have hit the top and things are cooling off across the board with a few exceptions. Let's move on to Rebel Clash. Like we said, that one's finally catching up to the hype. It's been a long time sitting at that price, and now it finally is pushing up. Now, note, it was at this price, a couple months ago, so it's not like it's not going parabolic, not going to the moon. Let's see. Darkness Ablaze. Sorry, these labels are annoying. Darkness Ablaze pretty much flat, but has risen up to that next tier. I don't think there's much to talk about there. Vivid Voltage, as we said, is shooting up on the case price situation. No ARB opportunity there. That's the premium intact, which usually means it's from the big sellers, LGSs, etc., that are pushing it higher. Sword and Shield 5 Battle Styles. This one is the ever unperforming, but at 108 kind of area to 115, depending on what you're talking about. Premium intact. Chilling Reign, slowly ticking up, has been for a while. I like this. I want to see it continue and then slowly go faster. That's pretty normal and a pretty reasonable situation considering where it is. Evolving Skies, here's that dip that I was talking about from the kind of BS data. What we'll find out is next week if those are all gone because they sold, then this whole average price thing will come kind of lower than its previous, like here. If it is not sold or gone and not sold, like there's no sales with it, although we've seen a few sales go through, but like if there's a return, those drop off the sale history. I've seen that before. If something happens that's not just an actual sale going through correctly, everything's happy, then what ends up happening is those get removed in our data. While this will still be here, it will come back here towards a norm, and then we'll be able to move on and basically just call this aberrant data, which happens. Like sometimes there's just noise. That's why I wasn't really afraid to keep it reported, because while it will look like a thing, it's not going to be something that lasts long term if it is fake and BS. So anyways, Fusion Strike. Yep, we're cooling off on the case prices. Like I said, most of these are kind of curling over the top. We're kind of at the peak. I think there's a wait and see kind of approach for the next couple of months, and that's where we're at with it. I'm not hyping you. I will not hype you. I will tell you what the data says. Moving on to Brilliant Stars. Serious premium on the cases, really just a drop in the boxes. I would double check this to make sure this is a good seller. I actually didn't look in this one, even though it's outside of its norm, right? So this, you would have expected this to tighten. This box dropping that low seems unusual. I'm guessing this is either a fake seller, scam, or an individual that doesn't have high ratings and is trying to get rid of something they have on their shelf, which is understandable. I mean, if I sell, mine show up like that too. I just don't need to offer this huge a discount. That's when it's too good to be true. That's where you got to be worried. I offer a couple bucks off, right? So I'm cheaper than everyone else. That's your discount for dealing with an unrated seller, because I only sell every once in a while, sort of thing. I'm not like a big shop. So I'm underrated seller. I give a discount, but I don't give a huge discount. If they're giving a huge discount, if it feels too good to be true, it probably is. It's a good way to do it, and that means protect yourself if you're going to take the risk on it. TCG Player is pretty good, and PayPal is also very good. Those are two ways you protect yourself. I actually do it three ways: TCG Player, PayPal, and Amex. All three of them will go to bat for me if I get scammed. So that's just how I do it. Astral Radiance, yep, premium's intact. Yeah, just kind of sitting up at this next level. I imagine this will fall off a cliff if they do get another reprint. That's a question mark if that one, because that was kind of a slow build. It took a long time for it to rise up out of the 100 range. As you recall, it was down here kind of with Chilling Reign for a long time. So I don't know that one's going to be targeted for a reprint anytime soon when you have these other things to target. Lost Origin. So we did see that spike. It's cooling off again while the prices are catching up to the spike in the cases. I think this is very healthy and normal. You get this spike because, a shop is running out. They can't get them. They're transferring them between shops. Someone has extra, someone needs more, that sort of thing. And then slowly the prices of the boxes come to catch up because they realize that they can charge more for the individual boxes. And then Silver Tempest, again, this was the one that this is most likely a scam, so don't fall for it. 75 a box just seems too good to be true. This will disappear and it will end up right back in this range, and we can basically ignore that dip. So anyways, that is your market data. As I said before, if you like the content, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about this and how I should deal with these kind of scam data points. I've been trying to catch the shipping trick, just because that's more on me than anything else, is how TCG Player surfaces the data. Let me know what you think. I do want this to be useful, but I also want to be consistent with how I do my data reporting, so which is important when you're trying to track charts and stuff like that, right? Anyways, I hope you guys are out there cracking packs, playing games, and enjoying this hobby that we love. Until next time, have a good one.